do I have a story for you. After the Ham Expo, I didn't thought that anything will be as dramatic as that show was. I mean, the aftermath of the show. But this Verona Reptiles Expo, dude, I have so much to tell. And of course, after every show, I got some goodies, including 3 true spiders, but we're going to go through that after I explain you everything that happened. And trust me, I have a lot to say. The things that happened over there, you wouldn't even believe. I mean, if you are following me through Instagram and Facebook stories, you probably know what generally happened, but I didn't even post everything that happened on the stories. So yeah, this will be a really dramatic video. Sit down. It is really windy outside and wind is triggering my motion sensors, so let me just turn them off. Anyhow, if I would explain the whole situation with just one sentence, it would be huge luck in enormous bad luck. Yeah, that would explain it properly. So let's go from the start. I will also include some clips from the story, so it will be vertical, but it doesn't really matter. Story is more important than the quality of the clips. So let's go from the start. I went to Verona Reptiles Expo in Italy. That is the biggest expo in Italy. It was first time for me to go to the Italy, so I was super excited. Ah shit! Here we go again!
It's a me, Croatia guy!
Italy, here we come! As always, Roach Guy was there with me to help me out. You cannot really do an expo of that size alone because I need to carry a lot of stuff inside and someone always needs to be at the table, and naturally there were a lot of people, so while I was talking with some of you that came over there, he was able to show and sell enclosures to the other people that came. Anyhow, we started our journey at around 8 a.m. because the expo is really close, only like a 6 hours drive, so when you compare it with some German expos, this was much closer, so we were super chill with that. And another great thing about this expo, you can arrive a day earlier, set everything up, prepare the table, so next day you don't need to rush over there to prepare everything. I was super happy about that, and that was a first blessing that I didn't even realize it will save the situation, but that was just one blessing. Multiple blessings happened. Remember that. And we are setting up, as you can see. We arrived to Verona Expo, and this is the setup. The Roach Guy is busy as ever, so yeah, tomorrow it will be fun. It is a great thing that you can arrive a day earlier, set everything up, and then tomorrow we can just come here, sit down, and we are ready. We don't need to stress out tomorrow. So after we set up the table, we casually strolled around the show. This was actually first time in like, I don't know how many years that I was able to just casually walk on the expo, because I'm there with zero free time, basically unable to walk around peacefully, you know, so this was a nice change of pace. So we checked out the expo. There are like 3 pavilions and around 600 and maybe even more tables, so a lot to see. And after we were done with that, we decided to go and grab something to eat, but our Airbnb was like 20 minutes drive from the show. So I decided to ask organizers over there if we can leave our trailer in the expo area so we don't need to carry it back and forth, and you know, to make it a bit easier. And thankfully that was possible, so we hooked up the trailer over there and we were gone. And that was the second blessing in disguise, that at the time we weren't even aware that that will save the show. We went to some nice restaurant nearby to eat pizza, because we were in Italy and Italy comes from pizza. I mean, pizza comes from Italy. You know, pizza, pasta. Anyhow, after that we came back to the show because they had like some sort of party with music and everything, so we grabbed a free beer. Every exhibitor got 1 free beer. And then after that we took a walk around the town and found some cool like swampy area that looked really nice. There were like a wooden path, and at first we thought that in the darkness we spotted cats. But when they started to move, we noticed that they're not moving as cats. And we were like, what the hell is that? So we first thought that they were beavers and I tried to record them. But as I was approaching that, they were starting to run. And as I started to run, they started to run even faster and faster. And I didn't manage to record them, but later we spotted more of them and we figured that they were probably nutrias because they didn't have fat tail. And of course beavers live in like streams and rivers where they can build dams, but this was like standing water, more swampy, so nutrias are probably what they were. And I have a picture that I snapped. It is bad picture, but at least you can see them. So it was a really chill day, super chill night, and everything was a-okay, perfect thing. We went to Airbnb, but in the morning, you know how they say, shit hit the fan. I started the car and boom. So we are just preparing to go to the expo, and now check this out. We are like 20 minutes away from the show. I can turn on the car. It starts, no problem. Then you put it in the first gear and you get nothing. You get the second gear. I don't have gears. Something broke. Great start of the day. Yeah, the car broke down. Something happened with the clutch. Probably it broke inside, but I still don't know what exactly happened. I need to take it to mechanic on Monday, but I will try to record over there when they will open everything and see what exactly went wrong, and I will include in this video. But since this video needs to go also out on Monday, I'm not really sure if that will be possible. Anyhow, I had no idea what to do at that point. We were 20 minutes away from the show, and the show starts in like an hour, and I was like, what to do. I went back to the guy in the Airbnb to ask if he maybe knows some mechanic that can come and check out if there is some simple thing that can be quickly fixed, although I was aware that there's no way that will happen. And he was like, oh, it's Sunday morning, too early. And he said something that he doesn't have his car or something like that. I didn't really, his English was good enough for basic communication, but to explain something more complicated, he had trouble with that. So he opened his gate that led to the a field that went behind his house, and he was like, come. And at first I thought that he wants us to push the car inside, but I was like, why we need to push it? It was parked outside on the parking spot. But I followed him and he led me behind his house where a small Fiat Panda was parked. It was his like a spare car, and he was like, oh, I don't know if there's gas. So he turned it on and, oh, gas, there's gas, nice. And he just gave me the keys and said, go, quickly, go. So we see now why setting up the table a day earlier was blessing in disguise. If we didn't do that, then the show would be lost. We wouldn't be able to get to the show with all the stuff, because in that small car only some enclosures fit. And the roach guy would just basically need to spend the entire day driving to the show and back to bring all the enclosures. But thankfully we just had to come there and majority of stuff were ready, and I was like, thankfully, even though the car broke down, at least I can do the show and this whole trip wouldn't just be a total waste and loss of money. As you can see, we are in a bit smaller car. Show starts in like 5 minutes and we are kinda ready, and yeah. Expo started and it was amazing. I wasn't even aware that there is so many people in Italy that knows about me, because I get very little views from Italy, so I didn't really expect that more than 20-30 people will over there know me, but I took so many selfies with people, it was awesome. Anyhow, around noon, I called the guy to ask him if maybe the mechanic came and there is some update, but he told me that unfortunately the mechanic came. He checked the car, but said that definitely something happened with the clutch and that everything needs to be taken apart, but he cannot do it, not on Sunday, he cannot do it the entire week, but there is some other guy that can potentially take the car on Monday, which means that I would need to stay another day, but he will probably fix it in like 2 or 3 days, depending on what really happened and if and when he can get the spare parts. So I was like, oh, I will need to overpay the towing for sure. I will need to overpay the fix because it is like urgent. But then I remembered in 2018 when I bought my car and I was arranging the insurance, I took some optional thing that was free towing outside of Croatia, and I thought that it only covers the towing to the nearest service station or something like that. So I was like, okay, at least something. I won't need to pay for the towing. But then when I called the guy to ask for the detail, the insurance guy, he told me, no, I have everything covered. I got free towing from the spot where the car broke down all the way to my town, Koprivnica. And I was like, and not only that, it includes towing of the trailer. So everything is covered. Heck yeah, huge luck in huge bad luck, you know. So I called the insurance to arrange everything, and they told me that they are going to send someone from Croatia the same day. So basically we will need to stay over there just a few extra hours to wait for the driver to pick us up, and that's it. Minimal damage. And not only that, but you remember that we left the trailer on the expo, and that was another blessing in the sky, because if we didn't do that after the show is done, we wouldn't be able to pack everything, because of course you don't sell everything, you always bring more. If we didn't leave the trailer over there, again, that would mean like constantly driving back and forth between the expo and the Airbnb to bring all the stuff back. So yeah, I'm telling you, enormous luck. We packed everything, and basically we had to wait for next 2 hours for the driver to come and pick us up. I took the car back to the Airbnb to return it, but then this happened. Okay, this is now getting ridiculous, because the car that I got from the land now has a check engine light on. What the hell is happening? What the hell? I just couldn't believe it, my luck, and that was like 2 minutes away from the Airbnb. But thankfully, when I returned the car, I told the guy what happened, and he went inside, checked, there was something written in Italian, and I was like, ah, normal, service, or oh, la, normal. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Anyhow, I sat in the car, I waited for the guy, and I thought, okay, now nothing can go wrong, right? Right? Nope. Again, I was wrong. The guy arrived and he looked at the car and it was like how heavy the car is. And I checked it in the specs and it was 1,560 kilos. And he was like, my carrying capacity is 1,450 kilos. So already 100 kilos more than it is allowed. And on top of that, what do you have in the car? I'm like, glass enclosures. How heavy they are? I don't know, 200, 300 kilos in total. And I was like, okay, 400 kilos. Plus 2 of you that I need to drive. I will be 400, 500 kilos overweight. And he was really mad, but I was like, I don't know. I called the insurance. They know which car I got. They know how heavy the car is. I told them that I was on the expo. They didn't ask me to specify if there is some cargo or anything. I told them that I have a trailer. Thankfully, he loaded the car despite all of that. I mean, what can he do now? He can refuse us and return back and... but he was really, really mad. He was like, Italian police, they will stop us for sure. Slovenian police, they will stop us. We will get tickets. He was really, really mad. But we went back to the show to pick up the trailer. And you think, okay, nothing can go wrong now, right? Nope. We hooked up the trailer and I wanted to plug in the trailer in the truck, but the connector wouldn't fit. It is a different connector. And the guy was like, he bought the truck 10 days ago, so he didn't know that there is a different connector. And it was like, oh, we cannot drive like that. We cannot drive. It is night. We won't have lights. We cannot drive like that. No way. I mean, too much weight, no lights on the trailer. There's no way. But then Roach guy was like, we can plug it in our car. And the driver was like, oh, okay, that will work. And we plug it in, but the car needs to be turned on in order for the lights to work. And of course, we won't have indicators, but the trailer is small and the indicators on the truck will be visible. So, okay, at least the trailer will have lights. And also the lights on the car needs to be turned on, which will make us a target for police for sure, but it was the only option. And we were like, okay, it is either that or nothing, so we went like that. Thankfully, it was Sunday and really late, so there were 0 police cars on the road. And the only police car in Italy was at the border. There were 3 policemen standing outside of the police car, and when they see us approaching, they were like, you could see it on their face that they are thinking like, what the hell is this? But since we were exiting Italy, they were probably like, they are Slovenian problem now. And of course, as soon as we entered Slovenia, we passed a police car. And guess what happened? Police car started following us. They turned on their lights and we had to stop. But the guy was like, not only that the indicators doesn't work on the trailer, but also a stoplight doesn't work because it is not connected to the truck, it is connected to the car. And I was like, oh, I will get so many fines, so many tickets. The guy was so pissed and so mad. The policeman came and he was like, why are the lights on? But he was not talking about the lights on the car. He was talking about the lights, the rotating orange lights on the truck. He was asking about that because in Italy you need to have those lights on. So driver was like, in Italy you need to have the lights turned on. But the policeman was like, this is Slovenia, this is not Italy. Out of the truck. Of course, he asked for the papers. and he asked who is the owner of the car. He asked for those papers. He took one, he took two, and he was like 1,450, 1,550. Of course, immediately he knew that we are over the limit, and then he noticed that the car is turned on, so he was like, who is in the car? Who is in the car? And I opened, nobody. And I was thinking, if he asks why is the car turned on, what will we say to him? At that time I had no idea, because there is no logical explanation for that. But thankfully the policeman didn't ask about it. He also asked what is in the trailer. I wanted to show him, but he was like, okay, terrarium's okay. He didn't notice that the trailer is hooked to a car and not to the truck. Thankfully, I immediately started to whine how we went to the show and the car broke down, and thankfully the guy was able to come and pick us up and blah blah blah. I was like really super sad and super apologetic, so thankfully, I'm not sure if it was because of that, but he let us go. Another huge luck in huge bad luck. I don't know what to say, but after all of what happened, I was like, there is no way that that is the last thing, the last problem that we will face. And the driver thought that he let us go, but he'll probably call some other patrol in front of us to stop us, to see how much exactly we are over the weight limit, so they can write the appropriate ticket. Therefore, as we were driving, I was thinking, what will we say? Why the car is on? Why the car is on? Why the car needs to be on? And then I figured it out. Roach guy bought some plants that were in the car, and I was like, I will just say that they need to be warm, so therefore we turned on the car so the heat can be on. Perfect explanation. But thankfully no one stopped us. We drove through entire Slovenia without any problem. We passed to Croatia without any problem, arrived here in Koprivnica, and the car is now outside waiting for me to take it to the car mechanic on Monday. Really, considering everything that happened, this just couldn't ended any better. So that is my Verona Reptiles experience. Despite all the trouble that we experienced, we will be back for the next one next year in, I think, in May. I think that the next one is in May. So all of you that missed me over there, you will have another chance. And buy Dark Dead Enclosures, of course. Now let me show you what I received. Actually, I bought something. I bought these two colonies of fruit flies, and I bought a colony of lateralis roaches. I received some 3D printed, you see, for geckos and such. And also I received this house for a jumping spider, and this is how you secure it in the enclosure. Really cute. I'm pretty sure a tarantula cat would love it. I also received some monster cans, but they are already on the shelf. I received a couple of hissa roaches to make a special feeding video, although I don't have a lot of tarantulas that can handle their size. And last but not least, I received 3 different true spider species. Let me show you this first. This first one looks like some common house spider, right? But the guy that gave it to me told me that they actually get really big, so I'm super interested to see how that will look, because I never seen a spider of this appearance to actually be big and beefy spider. Really interesting for sure. Then the next spider, actually these two were gifts from one girl, but I asked her to send me a message of what is the species, but she didn't send me that. So please, if you're watching this video, thank you for the spiders, and please send me the scientific name, or you can write it in the comments. I will check the comments. And unfortunately, the spider is inside of this tunnel, this cork tube, but I cannot show it, unfortunately. If it later comes out, I will include a clip of it. And the last two spiders, there are 2 inside of this one enclosure, and they are super tiny. You see, one is over there. They are called green lynx spider. I used to have a female and a male, and they are super good looking spiders. I attempted to breed them. It appeared successful. The female produced the egg sac, but unfortunately nothing happened. The egg sac apparently wasn't successful, so I was bummed about that, but now I'm hyped that once again I have that species. And they are tiny, so I will be able to watch them as they get bigger and bigger. So yeah, that was all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, that you enjoyed in the suffering that I experienced. But yeah, if you did, make sure to thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel even more, there's a Patreon page and also a merch page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload on Monday, sometimes a live stream on Sunday, and see you again really soon. Bye.